This is episode 88.
Welcome to Wellness in Every Season, the podcast where we explore the rich tapestry of wellness in all its forms. I'm your host, Autumn Carter, a certified life coach turned wellness coach, as well as a certified parenting coach, dedicated to empowering others to rediscover their identity in their current season of life. My goal is to help you thrive as an individual and as a parent.
Welcome to episode 88 of Wellness in Every Season. Today's episode, Stop Negative Thinking Now, is such a crucial topic because negative thinking patterns or cognitive distortions have a profound impact on nearly every aspect of our lives, and it is something that I've been taking a deep dive into. Whether it's affecting your overall wellness, shaping how we parent, influencing our career decisions, or building a business, negative thoughts can become roadblocks that keep us from reaching our full potential. These thought patterns often sneak in unnoticed, distorting our reality, causing stress, and leading us to doubt ourselves. They affect our mood, energy, relationships, and the way we approach everyday challenges. By recognizing and addressing these distortions, we open the door to growth, self-compassion, and a healthier mindset. It's about shifting from being our own harshest critic to becoming our biggest supporter. Understanding how to stop negative thinking is empowering. It equips us with tools to transform setbacks into stepping stones, to respond rather than react in stressful situations, and to foster deeper, more positive connections with ourselves and others. Essentially, tackling negative thinking is the foundation for creating a more balanced, fulfilling life. That's why this episode is so important. So let's go ahead and dive in. First, let's talk about how to recognize negative thinking or cognitive distortions. That is the word that is used in the mental health community. These distortions often pop up as automatic thoughts that feel true, even though they might not reflect reality. Common signs includes words like always and never, assuming the worst will happen, or feeling an overwhelming sense of guilt or failure over a small mistake. For example, when you think, I always mess things up, or I'm a terrible parent because I lost my patience today, that's a distortion. These thoughts create stress and prevent us from seeing the full picture. So, how do we begin to recognize them? Start by paying attention to your inner dialogue, especially when you're feeling upset, anxious, or overwhelmed. Notice the language you use. Are you exaggerating, jumping to conclusions, or labeling yourself negatively? When you catch yourself in one of these thought spirals, pause and ask, is this thought helpful? Is it really true? Or am I being overly critical of myself? Now, let's get into what to do once you've recognized these thoughts. This is where the power of reframing comes in. Using statements like, even though, and I choose to, is a simple yet transformative way to challenge negative thinking. For instance, instead of saying, I failed that task, so I'll never be good at this, reframe it to, even though I didn't succeed this time, I choose to see it as a learning experience and try again. There's a show that our kids listen to. I'm not thinking the name of it right now. But I love that she adds yet to the end of things. It's the one where she turns into a cat. Anyway, it's a cute show. But I really love her adding the word yet. It definitely makes a huge shift in thinking. So let's talk about this shift from negative, limiting perspectives to a more balanced and growth-oriented view. It helps break the cycle of distorted thinking. Another powerful tool is to practice self-compassion. This is why I love having mindfulness moments in my solo episodes. It reminds yourself that everyone experiences setbacks and difficult moments. Everyone. When you catch a negative thought, ask yourself how you would respond if a friend came to you with the same concern. Often, we're much kinder and more supportive to others than we are to ourselves. Finally, how do we apply this to help others, especially those we care about, like our children, partners, or friends? Start by creating a space where they feel safe expressing their thoughts. When you notice someone falling into negative thinking, Validate their feelings first. I see you're feeling upset about this. Then gently guide them toward a more balanced view. Even though today was challenging, what did go well? This approach teaches others, especially children, how to process their feelings and reframe their thoughts in a healthier way. And what's so great about this is you being that guide to them helps you even more. If you're feeling stuck in these thought patterns, this is where I come in. As a certified coach who grew up in an environment filled with negative cognitive distortions, I've learned how to identify and overcome them. Still working on it. It's a work in progress, but I'm really good at pointing it out on the people and in myself. And I can help you along with that. Working together, we can tackle these negative thought cycles and build a mindset that supports your wellness, parenting, and personal growth. Now, let's explore some mindfulness practices, life hacks, and coaching questions that can further help you navigate these distortions. Negative thinking patterns or cognitive distortions. Another way of thinking of cognitive distortions, think of that fun mirror at the fair. So cognitive, think about like the mental distortion, mental crazy mirror. Our sneaky mental habits that twist our perception of reality. They often go unnoticed, weaving into our daily thoughts and shaping how we feel about ourselves, our lives, and others. These distortions can make minor issues seem monumental, turn positive moments into afterthoughts, and leave us feeling trapped in a cycle of self-doubt. Recognizing these patterns is the first step in freeing ourselves from their grip. Let's explore some of the most common cognitive distortions and how they might be affecting your wellness, parenting, career, and business. All or nothing thinking. This is seeing things in black and white terms. For example, you might think, if I don't do this perfectly, I'm a total failure. It dismisses the middle ground, making it impossible to acknowledge partial success or progress. And partial success is still success. It's like believing if you miss one day of exercise, which that happened to me on Saturday, you've ruined your entire health journey. So not true. Overgeneralization. This involves taking one negative experience and applying it to all situations. For example, after a stressful day with your kids, you think, my children never listen to me. It's a distortion because one bad day doesn't define your entire parenting existence. Negative orientation. This is when you only focus on the negatives while ignoring the positives. For example, if you get feedback at work, you might fixate on the one small critique and completely overlook the praise. I've been there. I've done that. The skewed view drags down your mood and confidence. Unrealistic expectations. Setting an unattainable standards for yourself or others. For example, you expect to be the perfect parent who never loses patience. When you inevitably do, you feel like a failure. This distortion sets you up for disappointment because the standard is impossible. Irrational conclusions. Jumping to conclusions without enough evidence. For example, you text a friend and they don't reply immediately. You might think they must be upset with me. This distortion leads to unnecessary anxiety and assumptions without checking the facts. I was the worst at this when I was dating my husband. I don't know how he stuck around. Catastrophizing. Assuming the worst case scenario. For example, you make a small mistake at work and immediately think, I'm going to get fired. I had a coworker who that happened to. This distortion magnifies minor setbacks into major disasters, leading to unnecessary stress. And that coworker, this was decades ago. Oh, I feel old just saying that. It ended up being fine. And she ended up feeling really embarrassed that she was so stressed out in front of me over it. And just how much time she wasted being stressed. Blaming. Holding yourself or others entirely responsible for things that are not completely in your control. For example, if your child has a meltdown in public, you think, I'm a terrible parent. I should have prevented this. How many people look at you that way when your child's having that tantrum? It dismisses other factors and realities that contribute to the situation. Magnification and minimization. Blowing negative events out of proportion while downplaying positive ones. An example of magnification. I forgot to bring snacks to the school event. I'm the worst parent ever. An example of minimization. Yes, I received an award at work, but it's not a big deal. Anyone could have done it. This distortion creates a skewed perception of reality, highlighting the bad while minimizing the good. Understanding these distortions helps us see how our minds can trick us into negative thinking loops. It's not about blaming ourselves for having these thoughts. It's about recognizing them and learning how to gently shift our perspective. By challenging these distortions, we open up new possibilities for growth, resilience, and self-compassion. Remember, these are patterns of thinking we've picked up over time. They're not an unchangeable part of who we are. Now, let's talk about what causes us to fall into these patterns of thinking. At the root of many cognitive distortions is fear. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of the unknown. This fear can distort our thinking and keeps us from living fully. That's why I've created my How to Overcome Fear program, designed to help you identify the fears driving these negative thought patterns and replace them with a mindset rooted in courage and self-acceptance. And it's only $9. But before we dive into that, I want to share a mindfulness practice that can help you interrupt these distorted thoughts in the moment. You ready? If you find yourself struggling to engage in this practice, feeling overwhelmed or unable to sit with your thoughts, that's completely okay. In these moments, it's important to remember that grounding and reframing take time and patience. Instead of diving into the full practice, here's the modified practice. Simply close your eyes. If you're driving, don't do that. Place your hand on your heart and take 3 slow, deep breaths. As you inhale, say, I am here. As you exhale, say, I am safe. Focus only on your breath and the sensation of your hand over your heart. If a negative thought arises, imagine placing it in a bubble and letting it float away. You don't have to confront it right now, just acknowledge its presence and let it go. This simplified practice helps you build the habit of grounding without needing to go deep into reflection or reframing just yet. Once you feel comfortable, you can move on to the full practice. And here it is. Now let's move into the complete mindfulness practice to help you ground, reflect, and reframe your thoughts. Find a quiet, comfortable place to sit. Close your eyes and take a deep breath in through your nose, letting your lungs fill completely. Hold for a moment, and then exhale slowly through your mouth, releasing any tension. I want to hear that breath. As you breathe, allow your body to relax, feeling your feet firmly rooted to the ground. Imagine yourself as a strong tree, your roots digging deep into the earth, connecting you to stability and strength. Now place one hand on your heart and one on your belly. Feel the warmth of your hands and let your breath create a gentle rhythm beneath them. And if you're thinking any negative thoughts about your belly, focus in a little bit deeper. Focus in on how amazing your body is. Period. No comma, period. As you inhale, say to yourself, I am grounded. As you exhale, say to yourself, I am safe. Repeat this a few times, letting each word sink into your being. Once you feel grounded, gently bring up a negative thought. Might be that one about your belly, or cognitive distortion that's been bothering you. Notice this thought without judgment. Picture it like a leaf floating on a stream. It's there, but it doesn't define you. It's simply passing by. Now, take another deep breath, and as you do, say to yourself, I tap into my inner wisdom, worth, and truth. Allow these words to resonate within you. Now, gently reflect on the thought you brought up. Ask yourself, is this thought truly a reflection of my reality? Or is it a distortion rooted in fear or self-doubt? So, we'll talk about that in a minute. Allow your inner wisdom to respond. And if it's both, focus on the fear and the self-doubt part and how it is distorting the reality. Acknowledge how this thought has affected your feelings and actions. As you reflect, say, even though I have this thought, I choose to honor my worth and see it for what it is. Just a thought, not my truth. Now let's move to reframing. Take the original negative thought and gently reshape it. For example, if the thought was, I always fail at everything I try, you might reframe it to, even though I face challenges, I choose to see each experience as a step toward growth and learning. I am capable and worthy. This is the one that I'm using currently. Speak this new thought slowly, letting it soak into your consciousness. Even though I face challenges, I choose to see each experience as a step toward growth and learning. I am capable and worthy. When you're ready, take a final deep breath, releasing any lingering negativity. Slowly open your eyes, carrying with you a sense of calm, clarity, and your own deep inner truth. Remind yourself that you have the power to shape your mindset and align with your worth every single day. Let's dive deeper into the root cause of these cognitive distortions. Fear often serves as the driving force behind many of the negative thought patterns we experience. Did the thought that came up during your mindfulness practice, was it related to fear? When left unchecked, fear can shape our perception of reality and keep us from moving forward. It leads us to jump to irrational conclusions, magnify our mistakes, and overgeneralize experiences. Fear tricks us into believing that we're not good enough, that failure is a reflection of our worth, or that judgment from others defines who we are. It is also how we can stay stuck, allowing fear to control our actions and keep us in patterns that no longer serve us. Let's explore how fear plays a role in these distortions. Fear of failure shows up as all or nothing thinking or catastrophizing. We become so terrified of not meeting a certain standard that we convince ourselves, if I can't do this perfectly, I shouldn't try at all. Or, if I mess up, it will be a disaster. This fear paralyzes us and makes the risk of failure feel unbearable. It keeps us stuck, afraid to take any action that might lead to growth or change. Fear of judgment, blaming, or magnification can stem from a fear of being judged by others. We might shift blame onto ourselves or others to avoid the discomfort of judgment. Or we might magnify a small mistake into a catastrophe, worried about how others will perceive us. This fear can be how we allow others to control us, shaping our thoughts and actions based on what we think others might think or say. Fear of the unknown. Overgeneralization and irrational conclusions often arise from the fear of not knowing what comes next. You too? Oh good, I'm glad I'm not the only one. Our minds race to fill in the gaps with worst-case scenarios, convincing us that the future holds nothing but failure and disappointment. By succumbing to this fear, we allow it to dictate our choices, leading us to avoid opportunities that might bring uncertainty, but also incredible growth. Understanding these fears is a first step towards changing the narrative. This is where my How to Overcome Fear program comes in. It's not about eliminating fear. Fear is a natural part of being human. Instead, it's about learning to recognize when fear is distorting our thinking and then shifting that perspective. In the program, we dive deep into uncovering the specific fears driving your negative thought patterns and explore how these fears may have allowed others to control your mindset and actions. We explore tools and strategies to transform your relationship with fear. For example, we practice mindfulness to ground you in the present moment, which helps interrupt fear-driven thoughts before they spiral out of control. We also work on reframing those distorted thoughts, so you can replace fear-based thinking with a mindset rooted in your true worth and inner strength. Fear doesn't have to control your narratives. With the right tools, you can learn to acknowledge your fears without letting them dictate your actions or cloud your mindset. This is the core of what my program aims to teach, to empower you to take back control, break free from the patterns that keep you stuck, and stop allowing fear or others to control your thoughts and decisions.
Welcome, dear one. Have you ever felt like your days blur into an endless series of tasks? leaving you longing for moments that nurture both your soul and your family. I understand. You're more than just the center of your home. You're deserving of a life that nourishes your well-being and enriches your spirit. That's why I'm inviting you to embark on a transformative journey with my diverse range of programs at Wellness in Every Season. Imagine turning daily routines into soul-enriching experiences. Picture yourself stepping into your home and feeling peace and joy, not stress. Visualize a household where responsibilities are shared equally, respecting the unique strengths and needs of each family member. My programs will delve into what true equality in the home looks like, helping you create a balanced, joyful family life. My programs are tailored to meet the needs of busy, budget-conscious individuals. Some can be completed in just a couple of hours and start at $7, while others are free and take only a few minutes. For those seeking a more profound transformation, I offer in-depth programs that explore your dreams, desires, and what makes you uniquely you. Self-care is a cornerstone of my approach. Together we'll explore what true self-care means for you, making it a solid foundation for your daily routine. We'll also focus on making and keeping promises to yourself, fostering a sense of trust and confidence in your ability to honor your own needs and aspirations. All of this happens within a supportive community of like-minded individuals, each on their own path to transformation. As we journey together, we'll focus on recognizing your intrinsic worth, nourishing your relationships, and understanding how creating personal space contributes to a happier, healthier life and partnership. This is more than a series of programs. It's a comprehensive guide to thriving in every aspect of your life. All of these resources are available on demand at wellnessineveryseason.com. Whether you're interested in reclaiming your time, finding your dream job, or any of my other programs, there's something here for you. You can also set up private one-on-one coaching sessions to receive personalized guidance and support. 2 coaching spots have just opened up, and they're waiting for those ready to reclaim their true selves, balance their lives, and fulfill their dreams. Are you ready for this transformation? It's your time to shine. Sign up online at wellnessineveryseason.com/contact us for a free 60-minute coaching call. From digital vision boards to personal growth courses, your new chapter is just around the corner, and it starts today. My goal is to help you rediscover and return to your true self, find balance amidst chaos, strengthen relationships, and pursue your dreams while focusing on wellness in every aspect of your life in every season. Let's thrive together.
Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that little break. I want to take a moment to say that the best way you can support me is by purchasing one of my programs and sharing this show with others. Your support allows me to continue creating valuable content that empowers us all to live more fully and embrace wellness in every season of life. Now, let's dive deeper into recognizing cognitive distortions and what to do when they arise, both for ourselves and when interacting with others. By focusing on this, we add depth to our journey toward a more balanced mindset. The first step is learning to identify common signs of cognitive distortions within ourselves. Distorted thinking often comes with intense emotions, rigid should statements, or automatic negative interpretations of events. Recognizing cognitive distortions. Pay attention to the red flags in your thinking patterns. For example, if you catch yourself using extreme words like always or never, or if you're overwhelmed with feelings of guilt, shame, or fear, it's likely that a cognitive distortion is at play. You might think, I'm a bad parent after a tough day with the kids, or jump to conclusions about a work situation without considering other perspectives. By simply noticing these patterns, you're already taking a powerful step toward changing them. What to do after recognizing them? Once you recognize these distortions, the next step is to reframe your thoughts. This is where even though and I choose to statements come into play. They help to rewire automatic responses with more balanced thinking. For instance, if you catch yourself thinking, I made a mistake at work, I'm not good enough, you can reframe it to, even though I made a mistake at work, I choose to see this as a learning opportunity rather than a failure. Additionally, introduce practical techniques such as grounding exercise, journaling, or seeking external validation from a trusted friend to reality check your thoughts. These practices can help anchor you and prevent the distortion from spiraling out of control. Brene Brown talks about how the way to release shame is by giving a voice to it and sharing it with other people. So this is another concept of that. Helping others with cognitive distortions. Addressing cognitive distortions in others, like family members or children, requires a gentle approach. When you notice your child or partner falling into negative thinking, start by validating their feelings. I see you're feeling really frustrated right now. Then guide them to consider other perspectives. Even though today was rough, what went well? What can we learn from this? By creating an environment where people feel safe expressing their thoughts, you make it easier for them to challenge and reframe their own distorted thinking. Calls to action. Throughout the episode, if you're finding it hard to navigate these cognitive distortions on your own, remember that you don't have to do it alone. This is where working with a certified life coach, can make a real difference. I grew up with a narcissist who used classic cognitive distortions so deeply I understand how these patterns form and how to break free from them. Together, we can work through these thought patterns to create a mindset that supports your wellness, parenting, career, and business growth. If you're ready to tackle these thought patterns and want support in transforming them, I would love to work with you. Visit my website or contact me directly to explore how we can walk this journey together. You are not alone in this process, and having the right guidance can make all the difference. Now that we've explored the root causes of cognitive distortions and discussed how fear can hold us back, let's move into some practical examples. Using even though and I choose to statements can be incredibly empowering, as we've already learned. It allows us to acknowledge our negative thoughts while consciously choosing a healthier, more balanced response. Let's look at how this applies to different areas of our lives. Let's talk about wellness. Cognitive distortions often show up when we strive for a balanced lifestyle. For example, you might think, I missed my workout today, so I've ruined my progress. Instead, try reframing it. Even though I missed my workout today, I choose to honor my body's need for rest and focus on starting fresh tomorrow. That is what I did over the weekend. Another common distortion is black and white thinking. You might think, I didn't stick to my meal plan perfectly this week, so I failed. A better approach could be, even though I didn't stick to my meal plan perfectly, I choose to acknowledge my progress and make healthier choices moving forward. Let's talk about it with parenting. In parenting, cognitive distortions can often manifest as should statements. For example, I lost my temper with my child this morning, so I'm a terrible parent. Instead, you can reframe it, even though I lost my temper with my child this morning, I choose to see this as a learning opportunity and show myself the same compassion I would show a friend. Another example involves labeling, I feel like a bad parent for not attending every school event. You could shift this thought to, even though I feel like a bad parent for not attending every school event, I choose to remember I'm doing the best I can for my family. I'd use this a lot because I have 4 children. So I could not go to every single event, and I still can't. In a career context, cognitive distortions like imposter syndrome can create self-doubt. For instance, I made a mistake on that project, so I'm not good at my job. Reframe this by saying, even though I made a mistake on that project, I choose to see it as a chance to grow and learn, rather than a reflection of my abilities. Isn't that great? It's making me smile. You might also struggle with fortune telling. I'm afraid that I won't get that promotion. Here you can reframe it to, even though I'm afraid that I won't get that promotion, I choose to focus on the strengths I bring to my job and continue giving my best effort. Building a business is ripe with opportunities for cognitive distortions like overgeneralization. For example, my first product launch didn't go as planned. I choose to see this as one step in my journey to success, rather than a sign that I should give up. Another common distortion is emotional reasoning. You might think, I feel anxious about taking this next step, so it must be a bad idea. Reframe this with, even though I feel anxious about taking this next step, I choose to act in line with my vision and believe that this feeling will pass. And all of those are real life examples. Using even though and I choose statements in each of these examples reinforces the idea that while distortions may arise, we still hold the power to choose a more balanced and self-compassionate mindset. This approach can guide you in reframing your own negative thoughts, fostering growth in every area of life: wellness, parenting, career, and business. Now I want to share a simple life hack that will help you interrupt cognitive distortions before they spiral. I call it the thought journal. The idea is to have a dedicated notebook or even a notes app on your phone where you can quickly jot down any negative or distorted thoughts as they arise. You might want to lock this note, by the way. Here's how it works. When you catch a negative thought, whether it's "I'm not good enough" or "I'll never succeed," pause and write it down. Just getting the thought out of your head and onto paper or an app can create a moment of separation. Then, right below that thought, "even though" and "I choose to" statement to reframe it. For example, if you wrote down, "I failed at sticking to my wellness routine," you could reframe it to, "even though I didn't follow my routine perfectly." You might want to list out how you didn't. It's up to you. "I choose to recognize my effort and focus on starting fresh tomorrow." This practice helps you catch negative thoughts in real time and gives you the power to challenge and reframe them. Over time, it trains your mind to automatically look for balanced, positive perspectives, reducing the hold cognitive distortions have on your life. The best part? It only takes a few minutes to do, and you can practice it anywhere, anytime. If you're feeling stuck or need a boost, flipping through your thought journal can be a great way to remind yourself of all the times you chose to rewrite your narrative. Now that we've discussed cognitive distortions, how to recognize them, reframe them, and use practical tools like the thought journal, let's talk about the power of mindfulness. By practicing mindfulness regularly, so you can do that through my podcast or on your own, you create space between your thoughts and reactions, giving you the clarity to choose a healthier perspective. Remember, cognitive distortions are patterns we've learned over time, but they don't have to define us. Through practices like grounding, journaling, and compassionate reframing, you can take back control of your thoughts and align with your true worth. Because your worth is so deep and so vast, you are so worthy. We've also touched on how these distortions impact various areas of life: wellness, parenting, career, and business, relationships, the list can go on. And how using "even though" and "I choose to" statements can help shift your mindset. When it comes to helping others, especially your children or loved ones, using a gentle approach and creating a safe space for them to express their thoughts is key. If you're feeling ready to take the next steps in overcoming these thought patterns and need support on navigating this journey, I encourage you to reach out. Whether through my How to Overcome Your Fear program or one-on-one coaching, I'm here to help you develop a mindset that empowers your wellness, parenting, career, and business growth. My website is wellnessineveryseason.com. That's where you can find me the easiest. Now, I want to leave you with 10 powerful coaching questions that can guide your self-reflection and help you dig deeper into the roots of your cognitive distortions. Ready? Here are the 10 powerful coaching questions to guide your self-reflection and help you address cognitive distortions more effectively. 1. What negative thought patterns do you notice most often? Identifying the most recurring thoughts is the first step toward changing them. Here's the second one. What situations tend to trigger these distorted thoughts for you? Recognizing your triggers helps you prepare for and manage these situations with a healthier mindset. This is the third question. Even though you feel this way, what is another, more balanced perspective you could choose? This question encourages you to shift your focus and challenge the distortion with a new outlook. 4. How do these distorted thoughts impact your wellness, parenting, career, relationships, or business? Understanding the broader effects of these thoughts can motivate you to reframe them. 5. What evidence contradicts these negative thoughts? List the facts that counter these distortions, grounding you in reality rather than perception. 6. How would you speak to a friend or loved one experiencing these thoughts? My guess is it'd be a lot gentler than you are right now. Applying self-compassion by treating yourself as you would someone you care about. 7. What "even though" and "I choose to" statements can you use to challenge this thought? Practicing this helps make reframing a regular part of your thought process. Number 8. What small actions can you take today to break free from this pattern of thinking? Action helps create positive change and reinforces a growth mindset. 9. How do you usually react when a cognitive distortion shows up? And how could you choose to respond differently? Exploring your reactions provides insight into how you handle similar thoughts more effectively in the future. And last but not least, number 10. What self-compassion practice can you implement when you find yourself caught in a negative thinking loop? Finding ways to nurture kindness toward yourself can help you break free from the cycle of negativity. Use these questions as a guide when you're feeling stuck, overwhelmed, or unsure. They'll serve you as a powerful tool to help you reflect, reframe, and grow. And you can also find these on my website under podcast transcripts. As we come to the end of this episode, I want to thank you for joining me in this deep dive into cognitive distortions and how they affect various areas of our lives. As you can see, it affects a lot. We've explored how fear often lies at the root of these distorted thoughts, keeping us stuck and, at times, allowing others to control our narrative. Together, we've gone through practical ways to identify these patterns and how to reframe them using the power of even though and I choose to statements. We've also discussed tools like the thought journal, mindfulness practices, and gentle ways to help others, especially those we love, work through their own distorted thinking. Remember, you have the power to choose a more balanced mindset and align with your true worth every day. I hope the 10 coaching questions I've shared will serve as a helpful reminder on your journey towards self-reflection and growth. Cognitive distortions don't have to dictate your path. By recognizing and reframing them, you take back control and open up space for wellness, confidence, and personal empowerment. If you feel ready to dive deeper into this work and need support in overcoming fear and shifting your mindset, I invite you to explore my How to Overcome Fear program or reach out for one-on-one coaching. This journey doesn't have to be walked alone. I'm here to help you every step of the way. Finally, if you found this episode helpful, the best way you can support me is to share the show with others and consider investing in one of my programs. Together, we can create a ripple effect of positive change. Until next time, remember you have the strength, wisdom, and power to transform your mindset and align with the life you truly desire. Be kind to yourself and keep taking those steps forward. Thank you for listening, and I look forward to connecting with you in the next episode.
I love to support you through a coaching consult. Feel free to reach out to me and we can dive deeper into how you can integrate these agreements into your life. Thanks for joining me on this episode, and I look forward to continuing this journey toward wellness and personal growth together. And remember, you are enough just as you are in every moment of this journey. Remember to take time to heal, relax, and be present.
Next week, we will be talking about financial infidelity with Megan Outlaw.
Thanks for tuning into this week's episode. I am your host, Autumn Carter, a certified life coach dedicated to empowering individuals to rediscover their identity, find balance amidst chaos, strengthen relationships, and pursue their dreams. My goal is to help people thrive in every aspect of their lives. I hope today's discussion inspired you and offered valuable insights. You can work one-on-one with me or on demand through one of my programs by visiting wellnessinEverySeason.com. Stay engaged in our wellness community by signing up for my newsletter.com/free-resources. When you join, you'll have the option to receive a 5-day guide called Awaken and Unwind, 5 days to mastering your mornings and evenings, along with free guides, special offers on my programs, practical tips, personal stories, and much more. So sign up and share it with others. I put a lot into it, and that's where you will find me showing up the most. Don't miss these valuable resources designed to help you thrive in every area of wellness in every season of life. Join today and start your journey to wellness in every season. Your shares, subscriptions, and reviews for this podcast help us reach more people seeking empowerment. So please spread the word about our podcast. Thank you for being a part of our podcast community, and I look forward to continuing our conversation, sharing stories, and exploring wellness in all its aspects. One last thing to cover the show legally. I am a certified life coach and a certified parenting coach, giving general advice. I have a bachelor's in applied health, so I use that for the wellness aspect. So think of this more like a self-help book. This podcast is for educational and entertainment purposes. I am not a licensed therapist, so this podcast shouldn't be taken as a replacement for professional guidance from a doctor or therapist.
Because I don't know you personally, I'm not offering you personal advice. This is very general. If you want personal one-on-one coaching, go to my website, wellnessineveryseason.com. That's where you can get personalized coaching from me or you. I will see you in next week's episode. Bye.
One last thing to cover this show legally. I am a certified life coach giving general advice, so think of this more like a self-help book. This podcast is for educational and entertainment purposes only. I am not a licensed therapist, so this podcast shouldn't be taken as a replacement for professional guidance from a doctor, therapist, or any other qualified expert. If you want personal one-on-one coaching from a certified coach, go to my website at wellnessinEverySeason.com. That's where you can get personalized coaching from me. See you in next week's episode.